Well, a U.S. Marine locked up and held in a mental hospital in Virginia. Why? Because the FBI felt threatened by what he was posting on Facebook. So what was he posting anyway? And how can someone simply be locked up without having committed a crime or harmed anyone? Ben has the reality check you won't see anywhere else.
It was last Thursday night when U.S. Marine Brandon Raub was arrested at his Virginia home. Local police, FBI, and Secret Service showed up at Raub's house and had a brief conversation with him before putting him in cuffs and taking him away in the back of a police cruiser. But Raub was not taken to jail. He was taken to a mental hospital, given a 15-minute psychological exam, and then held over the weekend. Monday, after being held for 72 hours, Brandon was given a hearing at the hospital. But he didn't have that hearing in front of a judge. Rather, a special judge who's actually just a lawyer and part of what Virginia calls a civil commitment board. That board determines whether or not someone can be held in a mental institution, regardless of what they have or have not done. The board ruled that Brandon will be held for at least the next 30 days, and they had him moved 3 hours away to a VA hospital. I talked with Brandon's attorney via Skype.
And if they feel that you need to be committed, what that allows the police to do, the FBI or the Secret Service, as in this case, to arrive at your door, you have not committed a crime, by the way. You can be arrested, handcuffed, put in a police car, and driven to a mental institution without any charges.
But can that possibly be true? Well, yes, it is. And it's exactly what happened here. I talked with the Chesterfield County Police Department, and they tell me Raub was evaluated by a Chesterfield mental health official who determined that he should be held under a temporary detention order and transported to John Randolph Medical Center for additional evaluation. Raub was not arrested, and he faces no criminal charges in Chesterfield, as this is not a criminal matter. So what did Raub, who was a straight-A student, has no criminal record and no history of mental illness, he also did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan, do that was so egregious and shocking that he needs to be held in a mental hospital against his will? Well, the FBI told Brandon's mother that it was what he was posting on Facebook.
I was contacted by Sherry Granger from the FBI, and she told me that, you know, we were here to see your son and that Chesterfield County has taken him away. And there were several people that were concerned. She told me that about Brandon, and they were there to check on. And then also they were concerned about his Facebook posting.
So what was Brandon Raub posting? To tell the whole story, I'm going to show you some screen grabs of the worst things that I was able to find on his Facebook wall before it was made private. July 24th, he wrote, "I feel like I'm standing at a great crossroads, as if a storm of destiny is about to pick me up and take me to fight a great battle, a battle I could have never imagined existed. This is the part where I tell the generals training our young men to fight Americans, I am coming for you. The veterans will be with me." Later he writes, "If you are unaware of the great amount of evil perpetrated by the American government, I suggest you take your head out of the sand. The day of reckoning is almost at hand." And then there's this one, which is maybe the strangest. "If you are my friend, you deserve to know the truth. This world is secretly run by a shadow organization of people who, among other things, enjoy raping children. Some of the leaders were involved with the bombing of the Twin Towers. It was a sacrifice and a complete inside job. Also, the Bushes are very sick, twisted people. I believe they have a secret castle in Colorado where they have been raping and sacrificing children for many years. Think I'm crazy? Think again." And finally, "Friends, you deserve to know the truth. There has been an overwhelming amount of evil enacted and planned against you, your children, and your countrymen. It is in great scope. Your government is evil. It's as simple as that. And the Calvary," he writes, "is coming." Now you may be thinking, wow, sounds like Brandon is a little nutty. He believes 9/11 was an inside job. He believes the American government is evil. He believes a revolution is coming. Maybe he should be locked up. And if you do think that, then Kathleen Thomas says she wants to remind you of what the very First Amendment to the Constitution protects.
Let me just be very, very clear. Our Constitution says that they shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. So he was exercising his First Amendment right If he questions his government or anything that has happened, that's his First Amendment right.
After seeing this, some people will say, after Colorado and the Virginia Tech shootings, we can never be too careful. But what you need to know is that too few people seem to be concerned with being careful about constitutionally protected rights, like the right to free speech. Even if you think it sounds strange, doesn't mean that Brandon Raub or anyone else doesn't have the right to say it. In this case, no judge issued an arrest warrant. Brandon was arrested without charge, and he's being held even tonight without charges. And by the admission of the FBI and the Chesterfield police, he has committed no crime. And yet he'll be held until a board decides that he should be able to go home. Perhaps the question we should be asking, what did we ask this Marine to fight for in the first place when he was overseas? And that is Reality Check.
If you'd like to make your voice heard on the story, head over to Ben's Facebook page. You can find it by searching Ben Swann, WXIX. We were just talking